Okay, most of this I used the PNG that you sent, and this is auto-digitized from um, Corel. So let me show you the steps I took. Let's start with a new page. I'm going to go straight into the artwork canvas, which is where you're going to find the built-in Corel. And from here, I was able just to, I had downloaded the logo you sent, and it's here on my desktop, and I was able just to drag it in. And it asked me, do I want curves? I do. That's the language that is going to be able to convert an image to stitches. They pretty much must be curves for this to work correctly. I'm not going to change anything else, and I'll say okay, and then it's brought in. So this is about a three and a quarter inch circle is what this will end up being. So I didn't know if that's the actual size you need. And I can put the X and the Y at 0. I didn't do that a while ago, but I can now. Okay. And it's just a matter of hitting convert. Now remember, I'm in artwork canvas where the paintbrush is. And in one click, it's not too bad. The lettering looks pretty decent. Let's zoom in here. What we're not going to need probably is this shadow. So I just eliminated it by selecting it in my color film and then hitting delete on my keyboard. And then I said about changing what I needed to. All of this looked pretty good to me, so I'm going to leave it. We could help this a little bit. Looks like that's 2 separate pieces. Let's touch H to see. No, it's one piece, but it could use some help. Just by moving a node, see how that filled that in? And that's just a simple thing to do. So I think that's going to sew nicely. Same thing here. And I realize that that slant is probably part of the letter, but it will make it look a little nicer when you sew, and it won't look like you've lost a stitch. So touching 0 on my keyboard, I can see everything that's involved in this. Now I did some things to help the E along, and now I see, since I was able to change this so easily, I think I'll go about this the easy way to fix this. See, like right here, let's touch. H is my shortcut, but it's the same thing as coming here to reshape object, which is what I want to do. And let's see if I can help this E just by moving that node. That's not too bad. Let's move this one. And see, it just kind of helps fill it in, changes that angle pretty easily. And I realize it gets away from the style a little bit. This L could be done. Touching H to reshape. And just, it was just a fraction that I pulled that node over. Perhaps I've got it too tall. Okay, now what you are going to need is some underlay in this. The other thing, I was unsure what to do with the brim of the hat. It's not bad like it is. With some underlay, it would probably sew fine. But I do want to show the steps that I changed. I selected this shape, and then I went to edit. In order to weld that as one continuous piece, I had to first break it apart. And then I can select the 2 parts and weld them together so that it didn't do quite as nicely as it did before. Let's look at where our nodes are. Oh, I know what I had to do. With it selected, I'll go in to remove stitch angles. That it automatically defaults to a 45 degree, and then I'll come in and add stitch angles. I'll add one. Let's see, select it first, add stitch angles. We'll get one maybe here, maybe here, here. And if you get these prompts, it's just not happy, and you just need to work with it. It's not happy yet. Let's hit enter and see where we are. I don't mind that too bad. Let's see what happens when we delete this node. That didn't help us there. Delete that one. Delete that one. Okay, so it's getting too broken up. Let me try to go back in and weld is deleted out, and I can't break it apart either. Well, I'm not sure how I fixed this while ago then. I may have to take my other design and back up to find it. But I know I put in quite a few stitch angles, add stitch angles, to make this look like kind of an oval. Maybe that's going to do it. And maybe one there. Hit enter. Yeah. See, I kind of don't mind that because it's the back part of it's kind of giving it some dimension. But I'll send you my file too, and you can make your choice. What bugs me about when we do an auto conversion of art to stitches is that it's not human. It does the best it can in guessing where things are going to go. And these are a lot of straight nodes, and I would rather they be curves. One thing we can look at with it selected, we'll go to edit, and we'll say smooth curves. And I don't remember what the default is, but let's try this at 0.7. Touch H. And see, it took out some of the, so that there's not so many. And I find that I have better control when it's not fighting itself. And then you can change any of these two around by selecting a square node and touching your space bar. Same thing here, touch your space bar. But see, then that throws that off. Let's put that one back. Touch my space bar and it goes back. The other way to go back again would be to use your undo. And so this is not bad, but I think it could use, if it'll let me, a little turning point there. Yeah, that's getting better. Didn't like that. I'm kind of concerned that those stitches are so long now. I'm going to touch one on my keyboard to show, oh, they're going to be fine. This would show actual size. Touching escape gives you a clear view of it. I kind of don't mind that, but if you do, we'll figure out something else. Some of the things I did is I went in piece by piece and checked the underlay. The software defaults to just a step underlay, and it's not always what I want. I really like doing an edge walk, and then underneath satin stitching, I like to see a zigzag. So I'll say okay there. The white, and this is just my shortcut to get to underlay. The long way to get to underlay is object properties, and then you have to go into effects. Then here's your underlay tab. So I'm dealing with the white one, and for this I wanted edge walk. That's kind of my go-to because it gives you a boundary for these stitches to hold on to. And then on my number 2 underlay, my second one, I might even do a double step stitch. See, it's just a fill, or a step fill as they call them. I'll say apply and okay. What else did I do? This had very little underlay under it. A step. See, in the step fill, it's going to be too awkward under this narrow stitching, so I would change that to probably edge walk again and then zigzag and apply. Now this also is really narrow. If I zoom in and I touch M to get my measuring stick and I measure across this, it's the minimum that a satin stitch could be and sew nicely. 1.5, that's about what I'm coming up with. You touch the edge, touch the other edge, 1.25. I would prefer this to be perhaps 2 millimeters. So object properties, it's a satin stitch. We can stay with automatic. We're looking at the outline stitch. And it's all grayed out. Let's see what it's going to let us do. Object properties. We could beef it up with pool comp, but I don't really want to do that. But this is a way if it comes down to it. We could go maybe 0.5. Now watch the width of this when I do this. Apply. See, it just widened it. But it also does, see, my edge stitch is way in here. It's not, it doesn't move that edge stitch out where I want it. So I'm going to put that back on the default of 0.2. See if I can find, there should be a stroke that is locking in that, and probably what I would do, because if I'm determined to get it wider, is I'm just going to redraw it. So I would lock this in place by touching K or right click and lock. See, there's my shortcut, but I'm going to lock that so I don't affect it. And I will open digitize ellipse, and I'll go somewhere towards the middle and stroke straight out to this. If I hold control, I can get it straight. And then enter gives me my round. Let's get our satin outline. Now I have control over it. Because it was a, see, I can change the width, and maybe just a 2 is what I want. Apply, okay. And I can measure the first one. Okay, I need to unlock it. Control, no, Shift K unlocks it. Now I'm going to measure this one. So it is 70.58, and I'll make this one, and it's locked, 70.58. Enter. And now I'm going to make sure that it's in the center. Actually, I'm going to take everything but in the center. No, I'm not either, because that will throw all of those in the center. If I lock them, let's try that. Let's do this. Let's group it. Control U. Let's group these. Control G, forgive me. This one, Control G. And you can see these tiny little emblems. And This one I'm going to be getting rid of that circle, but not yet, so let me leave that alone. Let's collect this and this, Control G. Let's collect this. I'm holding Control to get those two. Control G. Now let's try Control All, and we're going to arrange, and we're going to arrange in the centers. Nice. Okay, so that green is now gotten a little bit close, so I think I would up this perhaps 72. Wait a minute. Control All, back. I just want to select this one and take it to 72 millimeters. There, that fixed that. And then I would go in, go further, and I could eliminate the black one. That was, in my mind, it's just too narrow. But you may like it, so leave it. Don't go through this if you don't need it. Okay, but I'll send you both designs and a video. Thanks for watching.